Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Asia Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 9th of March. Indian Prime Minister assures full support to new BJP government in northeastern Tripura. At least 9 killed as blast hits Afghan capital Kabul. And India seals agreement with UN to build homes for Nepal quake victims. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday attended the swearing-in ceremony of the first Bharatiya Janata Party-led government in northeastern Tripura province. In his address, he reiterated his commitment towards cooperative federalism and assured the federal government support.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi reiterated his commitment towards cooperative federalism at the swearing-in ceremony of the first BJP-led government in northeastern Tripura province on Friday. Biplab Kumar Deb took oath as the Chief Minister of Tripura and Jishnu Deb Burman took charge as his deputy along with 7 other ministers. The Bharatiya Janata Party or BJP government in the province assumed charge after ending 25-year rule of the Left Front. Addressing a packed audience, Prime Minister Modi said the people of the province do not belong to a party, they belong to the country and the federal government is committed to their welfare.
अब त्रिपुरा उन गिने चुने चुनावों में एक सिरमौर बन गया है जिसकी आने वाले दिनों में इतिहास में चर्चा होती रहेगी लोग उसमें से कुछ न कुछ नए एनालिसिस करते रहेंगे और ये इतिहास रचा है त्रिपुरा के जागरूक नागरिक भाइयों बहनों ने
Ruling BJP National President Amit Shah said people have reposed their faith in the party. He said the new government will fulfill the hopes and aspirations of the people and ensure Tripura develops as a model province.
Pakistan on Friday resorted to ceasefire violation along the frontier in Poonch district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. Pakistani troops reportedly resorted to mortar shelling targeting civilian areas in the district. The Indian Army also retaliated to the firing from across the border. There has been a spate of ceasefire violations by Pakistan this year. The troops of arch rivals India and Pakistan intermittently exchanged fire along the de facto border despite an agreement in 2003 that a ceasefire should be observed along the working boundary. Both New Delhi and Islamabad blamed each other for resorting to unprovoked firings. India on Thursday slammed Pakistan for supporting terrorism and said that challenges posed to Afghanistan and other regions by cross-border terrorism emanating from safe havens and sanctuaries should be addressed soon. Speaking at United Nations Security Council or UNSC meeting in New York, India's permanent representative to the UN said there are still those who are sheltering militant organizations. The remarks came as the United States has already announced suspension of all security assistance to Islamabad over its failures in tackling militancy originating from its soil.
The permanent representative of Pakistan in his statement.
There are still those who provide sanctuaries to support the dark agendas of terrorist organizations like the Taliban, the Haqqani Network, the ISIS, Al-Qaeda, LET and the Jaish-e-Mohammed.
Moving on, anti-Pakistan protests were recently held across Pakistan-administered Kashmir to demand abolition of the Kashmir Council. The protesters demanded constitutional amendments to ensure full empowerment of the elected government in the illegally occupied region.
Protests erupted recently in cities across Pakistan-administered Kashmir over the demand to abolish the Kashmir Council headed by the Prime Minister of Pakistan. The protesters demanded constitutional amendments in the Interim Act 1974 of Pakistan-administered Kashmir to ensure full empowerment of the elected government in the illegally occupied region through transfer of all powers.
हम ये हुकूमत से भी मुतालबा करते हैं कि ना मैं सिर्फ ये एहतजाज की हद तक हो बल्कि इसके ऊपर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन हो और ये कश्मीर काउंसिल का खात्मा हो और ये जो हक है डायरेक्टली जो है वो आज़ाद हुकूमत को बाइख्तियार बनाया जाए ताकि बाइख्तियार होने के बाद ये डायरेक्टली जो है ये राइट्स जो है वो ये जो कश्मीर आज़ाद कश्मीर हुकूमत है उसको दिए जाएँ और उसके बाद लोग बाइख्तियार हों, आज़ाद हुकूमत बाइख्तियार हो और ये कश्मीर काउंसिल की जो लटकती तलवार है आज़ाद कश्मीर के ऊपर इसको आज़ाद कश्मीर के ऊपर से हटाया जाए।
Pakistan has misruled the region for more than 7 decades. There is a Prime Minister and President in Pakistan-administered Kashmir, but they are merely stooges who have been helping Islamabad fill its treasuries through economic depredations. The people of the region have been denied basic fundamental rights and are meted out with severe brutality if they demand for it.
In news from Afghanistan, more than 8 persons were killed as a suicide bomber blew himself up in the Afghan capital Kabul on Friday. The attack apparently intended to hit crowds gathered to commemorate a political leader from the mainly Shiite Hazara minority.
A suicide bomber blew himself up in the Afghan capital Kabul on Friday, killing more than 8 people in an attack on a crowd gathered to commemorate a political leader from the mainly Shiite Hazara minority. At least 9 people were killed and several others wounded when the bomber was stopped at a security checkpoint in the Mosale Mazar area in Kabul, said an Interior Ministry spokesman. The bomber appeared to have intended to attack a crowd gathered for the anniversary celebrations of the death of Abdul Ali Mazari, a Hazara political leader killed by the Taliban in 1995, but he was stopped before reaching the main gathering. Attacks on Shiite targets have become increasingly common in Afghanistan. Over the past 2 years, a string of attacks in Shiite mosques and Hazara gatherings have been claimed by affiliate of Islamic State.
More on news from Afghanistan. The first Afghan ski challenge was held in Bamiyan in 2011 and regular events have continued since then. Afghans have reinvented the town as a skiing paradise, taking advantage in its snowy mountainscape.
The first Afghan ski challenge was held in Bamia in 2011 and regular events continue to be held since then. Afghans have reinvented the town as a skiing paradise, taking advantage of its snowy mountainscape. The Afghan town of Bamia was made famous for the wrong reasons in 2001 after the Taliban destroyed 6th century Buddha statues in line with their anti-idol strict monotheistic religious beliefs. The ski race is now in its 8th year. Around 80 participants took part in the 2018 race, 24 of which are young locals. A total prize fund of around $500 awarded the top 10 finishers, with the winning receiving around $200.
Any kind of sports, in our opinion, brings unity. It's a very neutral area, and we have experienced that over the years. Whenever there is a sporting event, it crosses all boundaries. Nobody thinks about ethnicity, nobody thinks about tribalism, nobody thinks about anything. It's a national, it's a source of national pride and national unity.
42-year-old British skiing enthusiast Tarkan Cooper finished second behind 16-year-old Mujtaba Haji Hussain, a shepherd from the Chapdara Valley, who finished the course in 23 minutes. The course includes a grueling ascent sandwiched between 2 descents.
Moving on to news from Nepal. In a reconstruction bid for earthquake-ravaged Nepal, India has sealed an agreement with the United Nations to build 50,000 homes for quake victims in Nepal. The agreement signed will provide socio-technical facilitation to the 2015 earthquake victims of Gorkha and the Nuwako districts of Nepal.
India on Thursday pledged $15.82 million in assistance to quake-ravaged Nepal for its massive reconstruction program. New Delhi signed an agreement in this regard with the United Nations Development Programme or UNDP and the United Nations Office for Project Services or UNOPS to build 50,000 homes for the quake victims. The UNDP will build 26,912 homes in Gorkha and 23,088 homes in Nuwakot districts of Nepal.
People of India, and in close participation and partnership with the government of Nepal, we will be working together to support those families in the greatest need of safety for rebuilding their homes and lives.
The 2015 earthquake created havoc in Nepal, claiming the lives of about 10,000 people and leaving over 22,000 injured. Gorkha and the Nuwakot were the districts which had the highest tolls and were enlisted as the crisis hit 14 districts.
24-year-old flying officer Avni Chaturvedi created history when she became the first Indian woman to fly a fighter jet solo. Avni Chaturvedi from India's central Madhya Pradesh province flew a MiG-21 fighter jet for 30 minutes to conquer the skies.
24-year-old flying officer Avni Chaturvedi created history last month when she became the first Indian woman to fly a fighter jet solo. Chaturvedi, who hails from India's central Madhya Pradesh province, flew a MiG-21 fighter jet for 30 minutes on February 19th over Jamnagar Air Base. Avni says it does not matter if the pilot is a male or female as long as the person is competent and professional enough to conquer the skies.
The best thing about being in aviation sector, that to Indian Air Force, is when you fly an aircraft. Aircraft is a machine. It does not know that the person controlling me or the person sitting behind me is a male or a female. It will behave in a very similar way. So be it a boy or a girl, they have to be equally competent, they have to be equally professional to fly that aircraft to its limit.
Along with Avni, two more women officers, Bhavna Kant and Mohana Singh, were commissioned into the Indian Air Force in 2016 as India, one of the world's biggest military forces, takes steps towards greater gender parity. Only a handful of countries such as Britain, the United States, Israel and neighbouring Pakistan have allowed women into the cockpits of fighter jets.
A car rally commemorating 7 decades of friendly relations between India and Russia reached India's western Rajkot city on Thursday. The car rally also seeks to promote the international north-south transport corridor, which will connect India and Russia and Europe via Iran.
A car rally commemorating 7 decades of friendly relations between India and Russia reached India's western Rajkot city on Thursday. The car rally was flagged off from India's eastern Bhilai city on February 20 and will see the 29 participants traverse through India, Iran and Azerbaijan before reaching Moscow in midday.
This is a rally that has been thought about and decided by the two big heads of Russia, President Vladimir Putin, and our own Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi, last year, when they decided to celebrate and commemorate the 70th year of the diplomatic relationship between the two countries.
The car rally also seeks to promote the International North-South Transport Corridor or INSTC, which will connect India with Russia and Europe via Iran.
We all feel we're really honored to be the part of this historical event for the name of 70 years friendship between our two countries, India and Russia. And it's really great experience for us because we can see the strength of relationship, which is for 70 years become only more stronger and stronger.
India and Russia share friendly relations and several institutionalized dialogue mechanisms operate at both political and official levels to ensure regular interaction and follow-up on cooperation activities.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.